Now we have the long neck. Mash 'em! Stomp 'em! Crush 'em! Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're continuing our look at the Power of the Prime's Dinobots this month by taking a look at Sludge. Sludge, of course, is the Dinobot's jungle and swamp fighter, and was generally accepted to be the dumbest of all of the Dinobots. I mean, Grimlock liked to act dumb, but his tech spec card indicated that he rather was quite intelligent, so it seemed like his stupidity was part of an act to make his enemies underestimate him. Sludge, however, here is pretty dumb. In his dinosaur mode, he is known for being able to cause minor quakes by stomping his feet in the ground. However, he's also been known to be stupid enough to stomp in the same area multiple times, which inevitably will cause sinkholes, or even the floor to collapse if he's inside a place, thus dropping him down a deep hole and needing to be rescued. So, Sludge isn't exactly one of the brightest bulbs in the room. But at any rate, this one is a bit of an improvement over his Generation 1 form, in the fact that he does have more articulation, and a lot less accessories to lose, too. As in the Generation 1 era, he had a red sword, and he came with 2 guns. But of course, one of those guns was a missile launcher, so he had 3 missiles, so he always had an extra set of missiles. At any rate, let's take a look at his accessories, and we will start with his gun. I do like the way that this gun is designed. It's got a nice little scope on the top of it. And we got like a foregrip right here, even though it's a little short for needing a foregrip, but it is kind of nice, but it looks more like the gun that Generation 1 Slag came with, instead of the one Sludge came with, so kind of looks like whoever at Hasbro or Takara that designed this toy didn't really check the archives very well. And then, of course, we also have a set of Prime Armor, as it's referred to. All the deluxe class figures that were combiner types in the Power of the Primes line came with some sort of armor that was shaped sort of like this, because this doubled as the fists for the combined unit. Since it's kind of, you've got these 2 ends here, and either one of them can be used to represent a thumb. And then, of course, down in here, there's this part that rotates. If I can get a nail underneath it, there we go. And that helps form the fingers, so you can use it either way to determine which hand you want to make it. Or you just leave it straight out and straighten out this piece. And you can attach it to the long pieces that came with the Voyager class leaders of the group, and it could be used to make a foot. That was always a nice feature. And of course, on this piece, something you also have to keep an eye out for is it does have a clear plastic cover substitute wherever the Enigmas or Prime Masters could attach to. Since this is made out of clear plastic, you can imagine it is likely very easily lost on loose samples. So do be wary of that if you do happen to go look for one on the secondary market. Now, of course, we'll take a look here at Sludge and take a look at his articulation. His head can be turned from side to side. Unfortunately, it is not on any ball joints, so it can't be moved any further than that. You can raise his arms up to the side about so far, and they do rotate all the way around, but you do have to move it to get clear of his extra wings here on the back. You can bend his arm at the elbow 90 degrees, and he does have a swivel at the bicep. So he has G.I. Joe battle grip. You can twist him at the hips, so he does have some dance moves going. You can spread his legs apart about so far. He does have a bit of a thigh cut. You can raise his leg at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend him at the knee 90 degrees. So all in all, he does have some decent articulation, just not quite as good as that of his leader. A couple other things to showcase here before we get him transformed. The combination of using the gun and the prime armor as a gun and shield is one option you had for him. But of course, if you fold the post all the way to the back on the prime armor, you can connect it to this hole in his chest, and it becomes an extra bit of armor on him, even though it looks a little silly. Looks a little silly, but you do have that as an option. And of course, you can separate the two pieces, and he can still hold on to both of them. And it still gives him this one as a nice sized shield, and maybe as a claw weapon, but then this thing becomes a rather small shield that's almost useless. Unless he's very precise with his blocking, and somehow I don't see him being that good at it. Alright, now, let's get ready and transform Sludge. Of course, the first thing they want us to do is straighten his arms out. And then you're going to turn them around at the elbow. And while you're at it, fold his hands inside. Alright, once you got those in, raise his arms up into the air in the classic I surrender pose. And we're going to come around here to the back side. I want you to fold this section out, and then you fold the dinosaur head up and over. Then you'll come around here to the front and then fold this down so it covers the robot's face. And then, of course, while you're at it, you will then come up here and you will turn the dinosaur head the opposite way. So now it's looking the right direction. And then you can fold the arms down just a bit like that, and then these wings can be brought up and closed over the robot's chest. And now we'll come down here to his legs. You're going to take the small legs on the side, and we're going to rotate them down and out a bit. Like so. Then we're going to turn him around so that we can bring out these pieces, because these are going to help form the tail. I'm going to turn these in the opposite direction because they're in the way. Because you'll fold these out to the side for the tail. And once we've got that all situated, rotate him at his hips so he's going all the way around. Then they want you to bring his legs together, like so. And then we can fold them over and get them connected to the body. There we go. Now, of course, once that's done, we can rotate these hinges to the back to bring the tail to the back. Get the tail connected. And then we can fold the tail up. And then simply rotate the dinosaur legs down. Of course, we'll adjust the front ones by bending them at the knees. And then there we have it. Sludge is now in his Dinobot mode of being an Apatosaurus. It was originally labeled a Brontosaurus, but when that term kind of got taken out of the scientific community, they changed it to Apatosaurus. Frankly, I'm not a paleontologist, so I don't understand the difference, but whatever. And of course, to turn him into an attack dinosaur. Now, before that, let's do the articulation bit, because, I mean, that is a doable thing. You can open his mouth just a little bit, and of course, as you saw, we can turn the head a bit. The front legs have a rotation at the shoulder, and they also bend at the knees. The back legs, however, only rotate. So that puts an end to the articulation on him. But to make him an attack dinosaur, you can take his gun and attach it to his hip here on that side. And of course, on the opposite side, you can also attach the prime armor. Looks rather silly, doesn't it? I don't think this would look too much out of place in an episode of Power Rangers. Alright, in preparation for him being a part of Volcanicus, we're going to get Sludge here ready for that. Now, he can be an arm or a leg. Canonically, he's a leg, so that's what we're going to go with. Alright, to turn him into a leg, the first thing we have to do is we come here and we take his tail, and you will fold it down and underneath. And we will stand him up like so. We will rotate the dinosaur head around like that. And we'll turn him around facing this way so that we can fold down the dinosaur head. Oh, wait a minute, the head went in the wrong direction. The head doesn't go down his back. The head comes down this way, down the dinosaur's back. There's a reason behind that in a moment. And then next, when we go back around here, we're going to move the front legs down to the sides here. Adjust them at the knees a bit, so that way they will clear around those legs. Then we'll come in here and we will fold up this post, because this is how he will connect to Grimlock to be Volcanicus. And then, of course, we will need one of these feet from Grimlock. For extra stability, we're going to include the prime armor that he came with. From what I've read, Volcanicus is a bit top-heavy, so you will definitely want these on him. From what I've experienced, quite a few of them are a bit on the top-heavy side. So having the prime armor, if I can hold it with my hands, and attaching it to the foot like this just ensures there'll be extra stability for it. it won't be as prone to falling forwards. And then, of course, there's a hole down here where the tail was. We just insert him in there. And there we go. He's ready to be connected. So now we get to my thoughts. What do I think of Sludge? I do enjoy the improvements that went into the designing of Sludge here. But of course, when it's compared to the Sludge in my collection, which is actually my brother's, it's a hard comparison to make due to the fact that the one my brother has was bought used, and it definitely shows its play wear with how wiggly and wonky it was. There has been through this video a link to see that original video, so I do recommend that you check it out. But of course, that was also done in the older style of how my videos were, as in pre-Larry, so don't expect as many hijinks in it as what we do now. But this one is an improvement in the terms of the articulation, because you can even pose the dinosaur a little bit, so that was always an improvement. Well, and as for how he'll look as part of Volcanicus, well, this part looks a little silly, but then again, a good portion of the combiner pieces always looked silly. So, we'll just have to see how silly it looks when we get done. At any rate, that's my look at Power of the Prime's Sludge. I hope you all enjoyed it. And please do remember that if you like the content we feature here on this channel, please do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.